position on top of the world. He is 31 now. You look at the Khan. 2005, the debut, Vargas.
And Khan Promotions proudly present the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing, an international contest in the welterweight division. And it's all sponsored by William Hill, StubHub, and JD Sports, and broadcast live by Sky Sports and streaming to the United States on DAZN. Sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, steward in charge, Charles Giles. Timekeeper at the bell, Brian Heath. Your three judges, Steve Gray, John Latham, and Marcus McDonald. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Terry O'Connor. And now the officials are ready. The fighters are in the ring, and they are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner with his trainer, Chris Johnson, wearing camouflage and weighing in officially at 10 stone, 6 pounds. His professional record, 29 victories, including 14 big wins by knockout, 3 defeats, 2 draws, by way of Bogota, Colombia. Now living, training, and fighting out Toronto, Canada, the 2-time NABA welterweight champion, Samuel Vargas. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner with his trainer, Joe Goosen, wearing white with black. He officially weighed in at 10 stone, 7 pounds. This Olympic silver medalist now has a professional record of 32 victories, 20 knockouts, 4 defeats. He's the fighting pride of Bolton, England, the former light welterweight champion of the world, Amir.
Spoke to you in the changing room, you know what I expect. Shake hands, best of luck to both. Here we go.
31 now, the former Olympic silver medalist, world champion, world challenger, celebrity, family man, an all-round sporting attraction. That's Amir Khan. It was blink and you did miss it in that 39-second blitz of Phil the Greco in Liverpool. What will this passionate Birmingham crowd see as Khan tackles the younger and possibly fresher Samuel Vargas? He himself predicts a knockout upset win. Khan closing in on a super fight with Kell Brook, who's got prime position at ringside tonight, and maybe Manny Pacquiao also been mentioned. This the second fight since Canelo Alvarez blew him away. Such a hard defeat to come back from. And what we did learn in Liverpool is that the speed, Carl, is very much still there.
Yeah, it's evident straight away here against Vargas. The jab landing pretty much straight away, the jab right hand. And I think Vargas realising he's going to have to move his head and get his defence nice and tight early on here with Amir Khan.
Vargas brings 29 victories in his 34 fights into the ring. But those 2 escapades up to the echelons of the division, and the losses to both Errol Spence and Danny Garcia checked him. And Khan should be in that sort of class still, even at this stage of his career.
Vargas will be coming here, though, motivated. He knows who he's in against. He's had 10 weeks notice for this. Apparently he's had a great camp, brought on a nutritionist. So however, or whatever you think about Vargas, this will probably be the best of him. So Amir Khan needs to concentrate.
Yep, Khan, who suffered early defeats himself. Bradis Prescott was the most dramatic, but a nice right hand there inside this opener. Already at least Vargas getting a foothold into proceedings, which Phil the Greco never managed.
Yeah, Vargas has got a bit of an awkward defence. He sort of ducks low to his right behind that shoulder. It's always difficult to tag an opponent when they lean away with that shoulder and duck down quite low, but Khan, he's seen these styles before and he's getting through nicely with this jab and boxing well behind that jab. Got backed up there and caught with the left hook. Vargas showing him that he means business.
A right hand though from Khan.
There's the reply.
And he shakes his head. Vargas, not only has he got to deal with the power, he's got to deal with the blistering hands of Khan. But as we've seen so many times, there is a vulnerability, a fascination really over the Khan whiskers, the Khan defence. And when the red mist comes down, he loves the tear up. And that's what Vargas will be hoping for, just to catch him cleanly once. But easier said than done, Carl.
Well, Vargas has only got 14 knockouts coming out of his 29 wins, so, you know, getting on for a 50% knockout ratio. It means he can punch, but he's not known for being a concussive puncher, so Khan shouldn't be too worried about getting hit flush. Obviously, you don't want to get hit, but he'll be coming into this fight tonight not too concerned about the punching power of Vargas. Vargas obviously means business and is looking well.
Much behind the jab. And I've talked about for years, it will still be a super fight, both under the Matchroom umbrella. Both really need it. Khan, first of all, has to deal with Samuel Vargas. The white and black shorts of Khan and the camouflage of the Canadian. And here comes Amir Khan with a burst. And down goes Vargas inside the opening 20 seconds in the second round. And it's this hand speed again that Phil the Greco couldn't deal with, and now it looks like Samuel Vargas has all sorts of problems with jab, right hands, combinations, and Khan looking razor sharp again.
Well, if you switch off in front of Amir Khan, that blistering hand speed will catch you off guard, and Vargas really taking his time too much and not seeming too concerned about sitting in front of Khan, but that's dangerous.
Almost looked like a thumb in the eye there, the right eye of Khan from Vargas. Back to his boxing, the electricity that he brings into the ring, Khan, which still makes him compelling viewing. Nice uppercut.
Yeah, it's that injection of pace and pressure from Amir Khan, and you know, the quality of punches and combination punches so fast.
Vargas trying to meet fire with fire and turn it into a slugfest.
Yeah, it's nice to see Vargas not shying away. Not too concerned about the knockdown, seems to be okay here on his feet, but Amir Khan enjoying himself in there.
Good body shot went in. Vargas tries the uppercut. He just wants to land something, he says, that will clip the temple of Khan. Make him do one of those dances that he's seen over the years, but Khan so often finds a way.
Well, if Amir Khan catches his opponents early, we've seen it time and time again, he tries to overwhelm them with volume of punches, and the accuracy and the speed usually gets the job done. Vargas will be trying to get Khan past 5 rounds here at least.
This time mixing up the bursts of energy with some more patient boxing. I know trainer Joe Goosen would like Khan to go some rounds tonight, maybe to prepare him for that super fight with Brook or Pacquiao as blood comes from the nose of Vargas.
Well, I think Amir Khan's got another thing on his mind. He's just looking at sending out a statement, and he's certainly doing that so far. He's looking sharp and strong. Vargas still in front of him though, backing him up, but bleeding heavily from the nose.
Just out of range there, Khan. Vargas tries to work the body, defense tight from Khan downstairs.
I don't like to see opponents and fighters looking at the referee and speaking to him much like Amir Khan is there. I mean, he's pushing down Vargas.
Oh, here's the right from Vargas, and down goes Khan, and there is the problem for the British fight fans and for Amir Khan. That chin, that vulnerability, that drama, it's happened again. Oh my!
Well, we've seen it before, Adam, and we've seen it there now. That was a heavy looking right hand, saved there by the belt. I mean, he needed the belt there desperately, and he got it. So he's going to be hopeful that he can.
So Khan gets the knockdown early in the second round. It seems to be all going his way, nice and controlled, and boom! Stopped by Bradis Prescott. Dismantled by Danny Garcia after that really good start. Flattened by Canelo Alvarez. And now Amir Khan, well, he's talking to Sammy Vargas in there. And we know, and he admits himself, Carl, that he loves a scrap, that when he gets hurt, he wants to engage.
That's right. I mean, and that's been a problem in the past with the knockout defeats that he's suffered. He's let his heart rule his head. He knows he should box and move and keep out of the way, but then he gets involved, and that chin that, you know, we've seen it, it's been tested and failed the test a couple of times, 2 or 3 times throughout his career, and we've seen that there. Vargas landing flush with that right hand. Amir Khan has to be careful, because Vargas will have one thing on his mind now. He'll be looking at timing a right hand as Khan backs him up.
And what on earth was going through Kell Brook's mind in the front row of ringside? Was it the big fight up in smoke, or was it, wow, I'm definitely going to beat him now, as he says he's going to possibly come down to welterweight for the fight? But that's still a way off. There is business to take care of here. Samuel Vargas promised he'd come, looking for the upset, looking for the dramatic knockout to himself onto the very exciting world welterweight stage, but a right hand, and down goes Vargas. He says it was the back of the head. Terry O'Connor counts it, and it's the third count within, what, 3 or 4 minutes, and another dramatic Khan affair.
Well, the shot was on the back of the head, but he still went down and he still looked hurt, which is good news for Amir Khan. As Vargas comes forward, Khan will be looking at trying to time him with a big right hand and a combination. But Vargas seems to be ready for him.
He's trying to keep himself together, isn't he? Remains solid, Vargas. He knows he's not got the skill set to deal with Khan maybe this early in the fight, but if he could just stick in there.
Well, he's enough as he backs Khan up here. He doesn't seem too dazed. I know he went down with that shot, but he did complain immediately about the back of the head. Maybe he tried to make a bit of a meal of it, and he wasn't as hurt as he looked.
Good accuracy there from Khan, who's got himself back together, recovered well from the knock.
Yeah, that all that good work from me. Up here.
Can't come back from dramas. He was down against Julio Diaz. He also had a real problem at times against Marcus Maidana in the Mandalay Bay in that cracking fight. But he got through it. Nothing wrong with his heart and guts, Khan.
Or chin in that fight. I mean, he took shots I didn't think he could take against Marcus Maidana. It was amazing.
So what is it, a defensive fragility more than a chin problem?
I don't know. I think he was numb to the shots that evening at him, because he just didn't seem to want to go over, and he was getting hit with everything.
Vargas knows, though, he can really hurt Khan.
Vargas is looking now to just time Amir Khan. He's trying to trigger Khan and wait for something to come. He'll be looking for that right hand over the top if Khan switches off. But Khan knows the game well. He's been around long enough to know he can't switch off. Stay concentrated, focus, move away from that right hand to his right, which he's doing nicely here. Still a long way to go here, and fast hands of Khan will take these rounds.
They will, but Vargas has had the activity that Khan hasn't. That's why Team Khan need the rounds to prepare for what's next. But a right hand again from Vargas. Khan's chin up in the air, and he is going to meet fire with his own fire. This is why he excites Carl.
Really good right hand from Vargas there, landing flush, but Amir Khan just fired back, answered with a combination of his own, but he's looking quite open to that overhand right of Vargas, who's finding a place now for the right hand far too often. 2 good shots there in the last couple of combinations he's thrown. Khan calling them on, a bit bravado there. Needs to be careful, Amir Khan, because we've seen what happens when that right hand lands.
Trying to poke out the jab there. Vargas, Khan in and out quickly, utilising the ropes.
Yeah, nice work on his back foot there, Amir Khan, as he backed up to the ropes. Little combination. He met Vargas as he came in and then spun off to the side. Quality work there from Amir Khan.
Yep, can look brilliant when he's bamboozling his opponents. Khan. Vargas trying to edge. Obliteration by Canelo Alvarez when he took the big leap up to middleweight. And Vargas full of energy still, full of belief. He's come a long way, they've worked very hard.
Well, when you knock your opponent down and you know you can hurt them, it does fill you full of belief. You know that if you land that shot, you're going to get that effect that you're looking for.
Body shots are good though from Khan. Up to the head. Look at this combination. Vargas can't deal. When he accelerates like that, Khan.
Well, this is what Khan's got, that speed and accuracy.
Oh, big right hand. He's in trouble on the ropes here, Vargas. It's non-stop punishment. There's a cut to his nose. Terry O'Connor tries to pull them apart. And there's plenty of time left in the fifth here for Khan to get the job done.
Whirlwind attack there from Amir Khan, landing with a lot of accurate blows, and the face of Vargas tells a story from that one combination alone. Badly caught on the bridge of the nose.
Vargas digging in, launching in his own body shots. Great action fight here in Birmingham. Huge spirit from Vargas, trying to stick in there with Khan, hoping to launch another big one, but Khan's all over him again.
Well, that's what Khan does so well. He's able to just overwhelm his opponent with fast, accurate combinations, and he just turns the fight on his head. We've seen it time and time again. When he doesn't get that success.
That was low, and he's complaining about that, Vargas. That wasn't. Good hit to the head from Khan. Vargas still fairly strong in the legs.
Very tough. He's took a lot of punishment there, and he's coming forward, his face, telling a story.
Can he weather the storm?
Well, he seems to be tough enough at this stage. I mean, Amir Khan was trying to force a stoppage there and get the referee to jump in. Very experienced, Terry O'Connor there. I mean, he wasn't buying it. He needs to see accurate shots land and legs go before he'll jump in and stop anything. Vargas is still firing back. He's still looking quite solid on the legs. Amir Khan looking for a bit of a breather here as he just boxes and moves on his back foot with that jab.
Get a shift in gears here from Khan. After the volume for most of...
Well, there's the fast hands and the blistering speed that we talked about earlier with Amir Khan. When he puts them combinations together, I mean, he's put together a good combo there. Now he goes to work as he backs up Vargas on the ropes. And this is where the damage is done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 punches unanswered, but, you know, Vargas
wants to make a real point in the boxing world now. He believes he can become a world champion again. Interesting to hear Matthew Macklin and Johnny Nelson's debate on JD Ringside. I weren't quite sure whether he could be totally dominant. Do you think he will become a world champion again on this evidence?
Well, he's looking good, isn't he? But you have to, you know, be honest and realistic about the level of opposition in front of him. Vargas, when he stepped up to 11 himself, he's been KO'd and been beaten badly. That was a low blow there from Khan on the blind side of the referee. Vargas making no complaints, but his nose is definitely broken. He's not making a meal of it. He's very tough, Vargas, still coming forward.
Extremely gritty, but there are so many a big level above this. And the likes of Errol Spence and Keith Thurman and Terence Crawford and Sean Porter and Danny Garcia, who fight later tonight. Vargas, though, putting everything into this fight. It's a terrific effort. It really is. As he swings from the hip. Khan staying tight, Cole.
Yeah, Vargas working the body quite well there, but Amir Khan sitting back quite comfortably behind his defence, shaking his head, just to indicate to Vargas that them shots aren't bothering him. And here comes Amir Khan with them fast hands.
Is Vargas thinking, though, these are arm punches from Khan, maybe slightly less tempo from the Bolton man, and Vargas beginning to hunt him down around the ring.
Well, he still seems to be full of belief, still coming forward, still very much wanting it in there, which is good to see.
Don't forget the lack of rounds that Amir Khan's had in the last 3 years. Vargas has fought regularly, and he's really hungry.
Provided Khan comes through this evening, it's a great matchup because it's giving him rounds, and it's going to let him realise that this sport is still very difficult. You can't just come back and take over. He's thoroughly expected to beat Vargas. When you listen to him speak on the build-up to this, he said it would be an easy job for him, quite matter of fact about it. And, you know, he didn't think he'd be getting caught with his shot and hitting the floor.
You could hardly find anybody who gave Samuel Vargas a real chance of winning this fight beforehand. People thought he might go a few rounds, but actually win it, not really. But then, not many people thought Tony Bellew would deal with David Haye. Not only once, but twice. That's boxing for you.
Well, this is where we wanted to see Amir Khan. You know, towards the second half of the fight. Is the first
step and a marauding Samuel Vargas, who's been on the floor a couple of times. What happens next?
Yeah, Vargas has really given us a good performance, really, a great performance. He's put Khan down and he's answered everything back. He doesn't look too concerned when he's under attack now from Amir Khan, and he's given us what we wanted to see.
Seemed like he hurt him again there, Vargas, but Khan came straight back, and that's what he does. As soon as he takes one, he wants to throw straight away.
And that's sometimes his undoing, but that's what makes him so exciting. But it's a good attitude.
Another right hand for Vargas.
And again, he's getting caught hot far too frequently now, Amir Khan. Vargas, when he feels these shots land, he'll be feeling confident. And Amir Khan's in a place now where he's not been for a long time, into round 7. And when you come back after a rest, until you get taken into these kind of territories, you don't know how your body's going to respond.
And it wasn't just a rest, he had hand issues as well. This time out of the ring. Yes, he's had great training camps before Le Greco and Vargas, but nothing, Carl, beats ring time, and Vargas has had that.
That's right, he's had ring time, and there's no substitute for boxing and fighting. I mean, sparring is the closest thing to fighting, but let me tell you, it's nothing like fighting. With them 10-ounce gloves on, 8 ounces in this case, it's just a different story altogether. Them punches hurt, they cause damage, and Amir Khan now is in that unknown territory that's not been in for a while. It's good to see him in there and see how he copes with it. Vargas smiling, seems to be still enjoying himself, seems to be soaking up these quality punches from Amir Khan.
Well, he's showing a great chin, isn't he? Seeing as Errol Spence and Danny Garcia took him out, and at the moment Khan hasn't.
Well, yeah, if you're going to do comparisons, then obviously Vargas was taken out, but you know, you're talking about Spence there, Errol Spence and Garcia, quality operators at the top of their game.
And he has had a fantastic and long camp for this, Sammy Vargas. He's coming off a draw against Mauro Godoy in Canada. Beat Ali Funica, but not a lot really since that loss to Danny Garcia. If Khan is talking about these big fights, it's still a way off, isn't it, really? Certainly in terms of levels, if he's struggling with Samuel Vargas here. He's winning the rounds, though.
He is, but he's on his back foot now, he's slowed down, so it's good observation, a good point to make, because, you know, at this stage now, you want to see Khan dominating.
Let's find out what Kel's thinking. Crowd here, and we need that to happen. If Khan gets through this, it should happen next, shouldn't it?
I think it did. Crying shame if it didn't. It's a big fight that everyone wants to see, and one thing about Kell Brook, he doesn't seem too concerned. He seems quite happy. I'm not sure about getting down to 147, but if he thinks he can, then maybe he will.
And if both of them are struggling, do it at 150. We just want to see that fight. It's been too long in the mix, in the talking. We never got Hatton and Witter in a ring. We never saw Lennox Lewis fight Riddick Bowe. Many fights that fans have wanted, and for whatever reason, not materialised. We want this one. First of all, he's got to get through the last few rounds against a very determined Samuel Vargas, who whatever happens here on in, has given a great display up off the canvas a couple of times, having his own, well, certainly highlight success with that second round knockdown off Khan. Can he detonate another one? It hasn't looked like it for a while.
It's not. He is looking for it, but that sharpness and that speed, because you know the energy's been sapped from both these fighters. Here we are in round 8, and you know you slow down. No matter how fit you are, you do slow down. Your feet become a bit flat. Vargas still looking for that overhand right. He nearly landed it on, as Khan backed himself up to the ropes. As soon as Khan gets close to these ropes, he needs to spin off. He knows better than to sit on ropes, but that's when Vargas will detonate that overhand right. And if it connects, I'm not sure it's got the full power at this stage of the fight, but I think Khan still can be hurt. Well, this is where we wanted to see Amir Khan. I mean, let's be honest, we didn't want to see a 2-round obliteration. We wanted to see what he looked like in round 7 and round 8 and through into the championship round. So Vargas has given us that, which is great, but it's probably not so great for Team Khan, because if their plans of coming in and whitewashing somebody like Vargas and sending out a statement to the top fighters in this division, then so far that's not happened.
No, it's been a mixed bag from Khan, who again tries the body shot. At times you think he's just going to go into overdrive and put one of those 20-30 fight punch combinations together and look for Terry O'Connor to intervene, but Vargas is manoeuvring around the ring quite nicely. Right hand from Khan. Has he taken his best punches, Vargas, and is he now believing that if he gets him into 10, 11, 12, he can beat him up in terms of stamina?
Well, he's been hit with Amir Khan's best punches and he's still there, so that answers the question.
We're getting Samuel Vargas back mentally and physically. It's obviously been a relationship that they've needed, the two of them, and they've come over here for the win, for the W, and he's still putting pressure on Khan. I mean, the scorecards will be interesting. Khan's won the majority of these rounds, hasn't he? We've had the knockdowns, and Vargas has surely got to take him out at some point. But, you know, if Khan tires, there's still 4 left.
Yeah, 12 minutes is a long time in a professional ring when you're tired, but both men are quite tired here. Amir Khan's still going to be looking, as you say, for them fast combinations, which I don't think are going to cause Vargas too much trouble now at the late stage of this contest, but still got a third of the fight left, and Vargas, if he manages to catch Khan clean, you just don't know what's going to happen. So Khan has to stay switched on. You can see his work rate's dropped massively. He's on his back foot and he's not really willing to sit and exchange and throw. I mean, this is the championship rounds where really you should be stepping it up and taking over. Good work there from Khan.
That's what Joe Goosen wanted him to do. He said, "You're hurting him, I want more offense." Khan backpedaling. Has done that at times in his career when he outboxed the likes of Devon Alexander. Got into problems with Lamont Peterson when it was rough and tough, and Vargas is trying to do that here.
That's good work from Vargas up close, you know, making Khan's trying to hold and Vargas trying to make him work. Hit him with short uppercuts and took the shoulder in there to break them up. Khan looking to rest, Vargas not allowing that.
How much is in the Amir Khan tank in this 9th round? Where the energy levels, he's obviously had a super camp, but so too Vargas. And Vargas is the one trying to force it as Khan comes back with a right hand. The accuracy still with Khan and the hand speed retaining.
Well, Vargas pretty much there to be hit. He's in front of him, backing up Amir Khan, and when Amir Khan throws, you know, he lands. He's got quite a bit of reach on Vargas, so when he puts his punches together, they do land. But Khan, you know, he's on his back foot, not really having any detrimental effect on Vargas here in these championship rounds, and Vargas quite happy to just march forward. You feel that if Khan injected some pace, he may be able to have some kind of telling effect on Vargas, but maybe Khan's not got that in him now, these championship rounds. At this stage of his career, I know he's only 31, but it's the miles on the clock, not the age.
Hard fights. Vargas has had tough defeats to come back from, but tired, but ever so competitive. Hasn't quite got the class at times, has he, Vargas?
No, it's quite limited, especially now in the late stage of the fight when you start to tire and hold your feet and start to run out of ideas. And
last rounds, this time it was Chris Johnson's turn. Don't just throw one punch, get combinations off. Amir Khan into round 10. You've got to ask the question as he puts another explosive burst together. How convincing, though, is this performance from AK tonight?
Well, it's a decent performance against, let's be fair, an average opponent at this level. I mean, in this division, there's some quality operators. So, you know, he's doing okay, but for me, he's not sending out a message to the top boys. The top boys will not be concerned when they're watching Amir Khan this evening.
Yeah, that big list of welterweights. The Spencers, the Thurmans, the Garcias. As Vargas tries to get another of these right hands going. This is big hooks and huge pressure, and Khan just has to hold there in his own corner. Terry O'Connor just breaks them up, but he looks down at Joe Goosen, and physically, is he beginning to feel it here, Khan?
Well, Khan sitting back there looking for a little rest, and Vargas thinking to himself, I'm not going to let you rest. Let's not forget Vargas has got a wealth of experience in there, 34 fights. He's been in with some of the best. Well, he's been in with the best.
And still he comes forward, and still he throws punches. A real belief tonight to Sammy Vargas's work. I don't know what the odds on a victory for him beforehand were, but they must have been massive, because everybody was picking Khan, and everybody was seeming to pick Khan within 6 rounds.
Well, Khan not doing a great deal now here. And like I said, these are the championship rounds where you can really send a message to the other competitors in the division. Vargas just walking forward at will. For all his limitations that he's got, he's still giving Amir Khan a real fair workout here this evening.
And he was clever there too, Vargas, trying to work the body, and does again to slow those legs of Khan, which are always so important to his boxing style.
He's still got good movement, Amir here. He's still got a bit of spring in his legs. He has slowed down, but you do as the fight goes into these late rounds. But Vargas manoeuvring him around and going to try and get him to sit there as long as he can.
Made to miss there, but maybe the old Khan of 4 or 5 years ago would have punished him.
Well, there you go. I mean, making somebody miss and then making them pay is what you've got to do in that pro ring. Amir Khan getting out of the way, getting in the safe zone, then looking for a breather.
Yeah, looking for a fair few breathers in these penultimate rounds. And Vargas stalking Khan.
Then breathers we talk about, he won't be getting them at top level. But this is a great fight for him in terms of rounds in the bank. Caught there, looking unsteady on the legs. Well, there's the right hook, landing flush as Khan pulls out of his head in the air. And there's the dance you talked about earlier, Adam. There's the legs, they do that funny dance, and well, that's the excitement. That was a decent shot, but Amir Khan just backing up. You can see here his legs are totally gone. Another shot. He's been quite forward.
Well, everybody at ringside seems to have Amir Khan in a really healthy lead here, but that does not tell the story at all. Samuel Vargas has floored him heavily in the second round. He's picked himself up off the canvas a couple of times, and he's given him a real tough, grueling affair. And you know, the concentration in the last 3 or 4 rounds for Khan has really been back foot, trying to fend him off. It's a right hand in there, but he has had to take punishment late on. Can Vargas dish out any more?
Well, Vargas is very tired, but still coming forward, so even if he does land, there's not much power on the shots.
Khan springs it into the ring. Now it's Vargas who's rushing Amir Khan, desperately trying to land something, running out of time into the 11th round, but he will still believe.
Well, Khan was really moving quickly there out of range, almost jumping out of range, and Vargas was just trying to make the ground up and looking a bit clumsy as he did that. But Khan really, when he makes them when he makes them gaps, he should be pushing forward and letting combination go and make Vargas pay for missing. And Khan doesn't seem to have that energy at this stage of the fight, which you need to then answer back, especially at top level if he's to step up. I mean, we've seen what Garcia did to Vargas, seen what Errol Spencer did to him, and you know that was before this stage of the fight. And Vargas has faded quite badly here. He's looking quite badly damaged and drawn and tired, but Khan's the same. He's fading, he's looking tired himself. Yes, he's got that sharp jab, but he's able to just box and maneuver as he pleases with Vargas. Against a world level opponent, you wouldn't get away with this kind of performance late on.
Yeah, he's just trying to see it out, isn't he, Khan, now on points you feel. But I was just going to ask you that about the next level opponent, as he's hit by another right hand. What would have happened, and I know it's difficult because he needed the rounds here, Khan, what would have happened if Kell Brook had been in the ring with him tonight?
Well, Kell Brook, at his best, you've seen him, he can land accurate blows. I've spotted him, he's a quality operator, full of talent, and he'd look to get Khan out of there, and he's got that strength to do it.
Would Brook have knocked out Khan on this performance?
A good Kell Brook, yes.
Manny Pacquiao, the other one they're talking about, rather faded these days, but of course a modern legend, a great. But I wonder what they're going to be thinking after this one. If it stays like this, he'll surely get the wide points victory. But Vargas he'll go all out in the final round. He hasn't been subdued, has he?
He's not, no. I mean, Amir Khan's boxed well. Let's not give him too much stick. But don't forget, we are judging him, and rightly so, on world level, because that's where he wants to be. That's where he's told he wants to be.
He's boxed fine in patches, and there's been times where he could have taken them. Marcus McDonnell will no doubt have Khan in a very, very handy lead. He's won pretty much everything in terms of rounds, but the effort and commitment of Sammy Vargas has been spot on, and hasn't exposed some weaknesses in Khan as he goes for the grandstand finish.
I've got a feeling if Amir Khan does have anything left in the tank, he'll expend it all in this round, because he does want to finish strong. He does want to put that grandstand finish on and send a statement out to the division.
Well, that's it. After a medium night, he has won the rounds, and he needed rounds, so as you're right, you can't criticise it too much, but it's what the others at the top level are thinking.
Well, for the last third of the fight, rounds 9, 10, 11, and this round, he's looked quite flat and tired. And let's not forget, he hit the deck quite early on, which was bad. I mean, that doesn't look good against the level of opposition. No disrespect to Vargas, but when he stepped up to world level, he's been totally outclassed, let's be honest. So, you know, in terms of sending a message out there to the others, the other top fighters in the division, that's certainly not been the case for Khan, but it's another good comeback fight for him.
Yep, every fight's different. If you compare it to what Garcia and Spence did to Vargas, of course, it's not going to look good. And the second round knockdown, but he's getting the job done. Vargas, if he hears the final bell, it will be a real moral victory. He'll go back to Canada with his head held high, still bombing and weaving. It's been a great effort, I think. A real gritty performance this from Vargas.
Great effort, fantastic. I mean, he's kept believing in himself. He's badly damaged, his nose clearly broken there, bleeding heavily from the nose, which affected his breathing. That blood had been going down the back of his throat, blocking the airways. So, you know, for him to be here in round 12, still pushing Khan back, having a real go. Referee getting in the way there, I mean.
The focus, of course, though, will be on Amir Khan. The good, the bad, the ugly. What the conclusions are drawn from this. What are yours, Carl? Marks out of 10. What grade do you give him? That sort of thing.
Well, early on he looked sharp, he looked effective, then he got clipped and went over. Bad sign to go over for somebody like Vargas, who's not a puncher. Put him over, he looked hurt. He's been saved by the bell twice, really, Amir Khan, in this fight. Here's 2 bad flaws. And then in this last third of the fight, the last 4 rounds, the championship rounds, he's not done a great deal against a very tired, a very damaged-looking Vargas. So, you know, in terms of a performance that's going to step him onto world level, it's pointless judging it, Adam, to be honest. I don't want to be too harsh, but you've got to be realistic. A Keith Thurman, a Garcia, a Porter even. I mean...
Well, the crowd erupt They are Amir Khan fans. On that card, the 120, 109, and the fact he came up off the floor, there were many good things that Team Khan can take from it.
12 rounds of world-class international boxing. We go to the scorecards. Marcus McDonald, 119-108. Stephen Gray, 119-109. John Latham, 118-110. All three scorecards go to the winner by unanimous decision. The fighting pride of both in England, Amir.